Hello and welcome to Tetra Football. I'm George, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my thoughts on some random transfers from the top teams around Europe. First up is Raheem Sterling from Man City to Chelsea, and personally I believe this is great business, as for Chelsea to take Sterling from a very important player from a top level rival like City is very good business, and even for a winger he guarantees something like 20 goals a season, and he will definitely add a greater goal threat to a team that's already solid at the back and make Chelsea a dangerous proposition next season. Next up, another Chelsea signing actually is Kalidou Koulibaly, who's gone from Napoli to Chelsea, and I believe this is brilliant business, as he's a good centre-back and he's in his prime, as well as the fact that Chelsea have lost many centre-backs this season, so it's a position they needed to improve on, and the fact he's been linked to the Premier League for years and Chelsea are the club that finally managed to bring him in is very good business. Next up is Calvin Phillips from Leeds to Man City, and I personally don't believe this is the greatest bit of business, as I just don't see where he fits into this team or where he's going to play. Because if you think about it, they've already got Rodri in CDM, and if you were to play him further forward in the midfield, they've already got players such as De Bruyne, Gundogan and Bernardo Silva, all who definitely are better footballers and get played ahead of him. Next up is Lewandowski from Bayern Munich to Barcelona. Now, a lot of people will think this is a good transfer, but with Barca's financial problems, I'm not sure it's the best bit of business for them, as well as the fact that Lewandowski is a static target man, and the last time Barcelona tried that, it was with Zlatan back in like 2010, 2011, and it went awfully for them, and obviously with their financial problems, I'm not sure this was the smartest bit of business. And next up is Rafinha, Leeds to Barcelona. On the other spectrum of Barcelona transfers, I do think this is a good bit of business, as Rafinha is a flair player, and like players like this have worked for Barcelona in the past, such as Ronaldinho, and I do think it's a good bit of business. He'll be a top winger at the club for quite a few years to come. Next up is De Ligt, who went from Juventus to Bayern Munich, and I love this bit of business from Bayern Munich. I think it is brilliant. I think it will make sure they have a solid leader at centre-back for like 10, 12 years to come, because De Ligt is still 22, which is very young for a centre-back. He's played loads of games, he's got experience, he's been in a top league in the Serie A now, and he's learning and developing all the time. And I think him and Upamecano will make a brilliant centre-back duo together. Next up, another Bayern Munich transfer is Sadio Mane, and as a Liverpool fan, I've got to admit that this transfer definitely hurts. I think he is an absolute brilliant player, and at times he has been Liverpool's best player. And I think to get him for quite cheap is a very good bit of business for Bayern, as he will absolutely rip up the Bundesliga and make it just look like a really easy league, because he is a quality player, and this is a very good bit of business by Bayern Munich. Next up is Lisandro Martinez from Ajax to Man United, and people might make jokes about his height, but I think he must be a very, very talented and smart player and very gifted on the ball for him to be his height and still work as a centre-back or CDM, two of the most physically imposing positions on the pitch. The fact he can do that just shows that he is a quality player, and obviously he's worked with Ten Hag before, and I think that connection will help him settle in at the club quickly and show us all what he can do. Next up is Yves Bissouma, another player who can play in midfield, and I think for this transfer from Brighton to Spurs, it's a good bit of business. It wasn't crazy expensive, and I think it's a position that Spurs can be improved on, and whether they're going to play him in a double pivot with someone like Højbjerg or Bentancur is yet to be seen, but I think they'd be better off playing him with some other midfielders who are better going forward in front of him. But overall, I think this is very good business to take from another Premier League club for, like I said, not too much money, and I think he'll be proved to be a real good player at that club. And last but not least is Aurelien Tchouameni, early bit of business done by Real Madrid this transfer window, and obviously they signed him from Monaco for I think something like 80 million euros. And I think it's a very good bit of business. He's a young player. He's the heir to probably Toni Kroos in their midfield three, and the fact that he's still got a couple years to learn off them is ideal, as they are probably some of the best midfielders you could choose to learn your craft from, and I just think he will be very, very good player in the next 10 years or so when he's starting for Madrid, and he will prove to be worth way more than what they ended up signing for. Anyway, that is it for this short little video. Those are my thoughts on some of the transfers so far this window. I look forward to doing more of these. Remember to like and subscribe because every little helps.